This video is sponsored by PotownStore.com, the best place to get yourself some TCG code cards. They are compatible with TCG Live, and you can of course get everything on the website for 5% off using the coupon code ZapdosTCG. This video is also sponsored by CARDMARKET.com. This is a European platform where you're able to buy and sell cards to people all across Europe. I personally use it every single day, and you can do it as well. And you can use the referral name ZapdosTCG to help support the channel. This video is also sponsored by PLAYMAT.com. This is a platform where you're able to, of course, create your own custom playmat. They have, of course, capabilities to ship worldwide, and you can get 10% off by clicking the link down below. So definitely check it out. Last but not least is Dragon Shield, the best brand to protect your beautiful cards. You can of course there's links down below for US and European people, and you can of course get your best quality sleeves available, as well as deck boxes and binders. Thanks so much for sticking around with the commercials. I hope you enjoyed today's upload. If you do, be sure to let me know by rocking the hell out of the like button, and let's get this video going. Sup YouTube, it's ZapdosTCG here, and welcome back to our TCG video on my channel. On this channel you get daily Pokemon TCG uploads, so be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out. In this video we're going to be talking about the Peoria Regionals, what went down, which decks were popular, and we're going to be talking about the top 16 best decks that actually performed really well, and we're going to be taking a look at the deck list and see which deck cards were used and how the lists are made up. So hopefully guys will enjoy today's upload. If you are enjoying the content I'm pushing out every single day, let me know by rocking the hell out of the like button. Helps out so much, and I always appreciate it a ton. It only takes one tiny second of your time as well. So with that being said, this was the day one meta for the Peoria Regionals. As expected, Charizard is no longer a fluke. Ever since Brazil, Charizard has been performing consistently well at Cups, Challenges, and now even at Regionals as well. 15% meta share. So we don't see particular best deck in format, which is good. Not a single deck over the 20% mark, which is insane. So lots of different archetypes in the format right now. Pick your favorite. This is one of those metas that you just pick your favorite deck and just run with it. So we do see Charizard with Pidgeot. Archeops decks, I think they're all grouped together, single strike as well as colorless builds. Colorless builds, of course, have now the Mew EX. And something noteworthy here on this fight chart, or actually on this chart in general, we don't even see Lostina. Lostina was not played as much. Maybe people were expecting a little bit too much Mew EX, and that scared Lostina away, but it will come back with a vengeance, mark my words. Miraidon also did incredibly well. Gardevoir EX also around, and Lost Boxes, that's also grouped together. I think Sablezard, Lost Box, Kyogre, all the Lost Boxes grouped together. And then there is Chien-Pao also surprisingly doing well. A lot of popular players, or actually very good players, decided to play Chien-Pao for this tournament. So let's see what that ends up with the conversion rate. If we take a look at the day 2 meta share, what do we see here is that, specific decks really dropped off immensely. Look at that. Lugia, Archeops actually did not perform all that well. It dropped down significantly from its day 1 meta share to the day 2 meta share. Charizard performed as expected, very good. 19% meta share in day 2, so it is a deck that is converting very well into that day 2. Same goes for Gardevoir, doing really well. Also some uptick for Lost Box and Chien-Pao. And Miraidon also dropped a percentage point, but pretty much Lugia was the only deck that went, if we take a look at the day 1 meta share, from 13% meta share to 9% meta share, so pretty much it dropped down a little bit. So that is, there was actually a lot of players at Peoria, 1,700, even a little bit more if I recall. So we're going to be taking a look at the top 16 deck list right now. So with that being said, we already talked about the first place winner list from Raymond Long, actually winning with the Kyogre Lost Box, as we all see here. We did pilot this deck already yesterday to see how good it is. It's very consistent, having the Forest Seal Stone and the Pidgeot. Also comes back with Zamazenta as a huge beat stick for a 1-price Pokemon, and of course in the late game, if your deck is empty, you can of course put Kyogre into play, use something like the energy recyclers, and then get the energies onto Kyogre and just Aqua Storm. 250 on 2 targets on the opponent's bench is insane. as long as Manaphy is no longer around. And with the help of Sableye, you can easily Lost Mine your way so you can get rid of the Manaphy in combination with a well-timed Roxanne can get you over the edge. Also Echoing Horn helping out a ton. So this is a consistent Lost Box engine with Kyogre, and because you're playing Pidgeot V, you also don't have that 2-price liability. So also no Raikou V in here, no Drapion V that you typically see in decks like this. So pretty interesting for sure. And we're going to be taking a look at the second place list right now with Jack Carter, also a Lost Box version. Let's see which kind of version this is. This is the Turbo build. As we see, Dragonite also part of the Lost Box deck. Typically, they did not play Drapion because they were expecting Mew VMAX to drop off, which was immensely true. Mew VMAX was not even on the charts, so that is a great prediction. I wonder if Mew VMAX will bounce back, but Charizard doing this incredibly well will still result into the fact that Mew VMAX is not always the best play, although there has been some DTE builds with Grabbers circling around. But for now, yeah, not performing too well, Mew VMAX. But here is a Lost Box deck, just cutting Drapion, 3 Forest Seal Stone with Pokestop and 3 vacuums. They just want to have turn 1/7 in the Lost Zone, and that's pretty much what this build is all about. Flower selecting into Colorless Experiment and get 7 in the Lost Zone by using 3 Comphase. Yeah, Colorless Experiment in combination with either Pokestop or Forest Seal Stone to get the vacuum. So that's pretty much what it is. You have Raikou to knock out Lugia. You have Greninja to knock out weak HP Pokemon on the bench. You have Dragonite for your huge beat stick. So yeah, very turbo mode, this Lost Box version. Okay, moving forward, Mew VMAX. You might think Mew VMAX was dead. Rowan Stavanov actually, or Stavanow, proved everybody wrong with this disruptive build of Mew VMAX. This actually is using the Grabber from the 151 set, selecting a Pokemon from your opponent's hand and putting it on the bottom of the deck. This in combination with Judge, Pav, Grabber, and the Luxray. I don't know if you've noticed, but Luxray is a very solid card, allowing you to reveal the opponent's hand, discard a trainer card you find there. So against specific archetypes, let's say you're up against Chien-Pao, you discard Miraidon. Let's say you're up against the Lost Box, you discard Colress. And Path is around, and you've grabbed away their Pokemon. The Pokemon decks will just crumble, and that's what this disruptive Mew deck is. This is actually only the way you can beat against Charizard, is using the Luxray to get rid of their supporters and chipping down onto their hand. So their hand is garbage, and now with Path around, you can still slap around with Mew VMAX and then win that way. Other than that is the DTE build. We've come to know with Path and the 4 vacuums. You also have Forest Seal Stone and even a Penny to help against Lost Box. So a very, very scary build if you cannot draw yourself out of Path, Judge, Luxray. Then 4th place is JW Kriwal, if I pronounce it correctly, with Miraidon. Miraidon was, of course, very popular. This is a build we've seen circling around before, but they did not use Zapdos EX and the Hawlucha. Instead, they went for, of course, the Zapdos from Pokemon Go for the 10 additional damage output, which definitely helps out against a lot of archetypes. Let me just give an example. Raichu can slap for 310, a little bit easier with only requiring 5 energies. Miraidon can knock out a Tyranitar with the tandem, actually with a Photon Blaster. So there's a lot of great things. Same goes for Raikou, full bench with, of course, that Zapdos in play allows you to slap for 230. So there's a lot of ways that 10 damage can come into handy. Also, Zapdos can become a great 1-price attacker as well. You have the Path Judge combos or Path Iono combos, Arven to fetch your Bravery Charm, Forest Seal Stone, or even the Electric Generator. So that is gonna be a deck. So very consistent. You have 2 free retreat options, either Mew EX or the Flying Pikachu V, which can sometimes come in clutch with that fly attack. Sometimes that can win you and cheese you games in a rough scenario. So this is pretty much a very exact build. Looks very similar to the build we've seen circling around at the World Championships. Then Jesse Parker has been dominating the season with the Miraidon as well. This is a list not using the Mew EX. Instead, they opted to go for that additional Iono right there, and they still have the Zapdos and the Flying Pikachu in here and the Squawk to go turbo. So not a lot has changed. It's a consistent Miraidon build, and it has been performing tremendously well. There was Sablezard with Terrence Miller, 6th place Sablezard list. Look at that. They are playing RD Kuno from Pokemon Go. Lots of Pokemon Go cards actually seeing some play here. We also see the Ditto from the 151 set being able to transform on your very first turn if it's in the active position to whatever Pokemon you feel like. So pretty much it's a 5th Comphase starter. Interesting for sure. You could also transform it into something else if you want to. The Articuno helps Cramorant dish that additional 10 damage, so you can spit instantly for 120 damage, which can sometimes be the difference in archetypes around. Definitely, you need one Lost Mine damage counter less in certain regards, but 120 with the spit instantly, interesting for sure. What else do we see here is Hawlucha helps out a ton against the mirror match to, of course, a Lost Mine. 2 targets for 70, because with Hawlucha you put 1 damage counter on 2 of the opponent's bench Pokemon, which is great, and in combination with Roxanne as well. So very consistent build with Beach Cord, Echoing Horn to put some weak HP Pokemon back from the discard pile onto the bench, and you have Clara to regain your Charizard. As seen, there was not a lot of Lost City around, so that was a great call. Sablezard doing well, and Lost Box in general did do incredibly well at this tournament. And we did see that no Charizard EX was in that top 8. Even though it converted really well, it wasn't able to clutch its way into that top 8. Also 2 Pokegears here, so you don't miss that turn 1 Colress's experiment. Okay, moving forward, 7, Brant Tonneson with Gardevoir, and we do see this is a Gardevoir build actually using that Mew EX. Mew EX can be coming in clutch sometimes when Gardevoir go first and the opponent is not respecting slapping down their Manaphy. You can actually cheese them if they are playing Radiant Greninja to boss them, use Mew EX, which is great, but also helps out against Lost Tina a lot. We did see that Lost Tina didn't perform all that well. It was actually not played all that well. So we'll see if it bounces back in Sacramento, the next regionals next weekend. But very similar build, no Lumineon, no First Sealstone, but they opted to go for 2 Worker and 2 Collapse Stadium as their stadium bounce, and just resorting to good old classic 2 reversal energies. Kind of a vanilla Gardevoir list for sure. Next is Granchan. I did see that in action on stream. It was of course Chien-Pao, my favorite deck this season so far. Yeah. What can we see? It's a very similar build to the Canadian list. I think it's the exact Canadian list if I'm being honest, although there's 4 Nesball, 4 Ultra Ball. High on the ball engines right there, because you're gonna go wide on your board. No Palkia V-Star in here, no Arceus V-Star in here, no Lumineon. They just want to go be barrel and go. I think they also cut down Lost Vacuum here for I think the 4th Nesball if I'm not mistaken, so they weren't respecting Path at all. And if you're up against the Path deck, you will probably crumble and fall because you're not playing that Vacuum. But other than that, you can have of course a Super Rod to use Radiant Greninja multiple times. You have 2 Colognes, Cross Switcher, and there's also no Boss Zors in here, so if you see like the discarded Cross Switcher with Ultra Ball, and that means they can only gust 1 more time, that is into your advantage. They're also not playing Escape Rope, so that's extra cards going to consistency here, and that paid off for Granchan with Chien-Pao. Chien-Pao, of course, heavily reliant on the Pokestop. Sometimes they go their way, and I did see that they discarded all 4 of their Iridas in a specific match with the Pokestop. They discarded that. That was insane to watch. Sometimes it goes your way, sometimes it doesn't. 9 plays with Wyatt Palguta with another Miraidon list, so lots of Miraidon in that top 16. They are playing Flying Pikachu VMAX, so you don't expect a Flying Pikachu VMAX when they slap down Flying Pikachu V, but Flying Pikachu VMAX can definitely help against the means of Lost Box, also because some of them are not playing the Raikou. You can also use this against Chien-Pao, against Miraidon mirrors as well, because if they don't have Escape Rope Boss exactly in hand, they cannot deal with the Flying Pikachu VMAX, so that's always super interesting to buy yourself some turns. Iono Path, Flying Pikachu Slam is definitely a win out, so very interesting for sure. He also play a Pokegear in there. I don't know if I like that over the Fort Research, but it is in there. Not only 1 Arven as well, and they play Collapse Stadium, which helps out against Lost Box, I suppose. There was Charizard EX with Austin Daniels, 10th place. Let's see which kind of a version this is. Very similar to the Brazilian build. Only 2 Lost City, by the way. And if you're falling behind, you can rely on Defiance Bands, which is actually a card that can help swing specific situations to actually, let's say the opponent takes down a little Pidgey or a Charmander, then you can slap 210 with Defiance Bands. That's 240. Can definitely push you over the edge. Also in the mid to late game, can help you push to that one-hit KO. Definitely in Charizard Mirror. So I do expect Defiance Bands that might be something people can think about. Radiant Charizard still a great attacker. We did see that. Other people tried out the Radiant Serena that weekend as well with Michael Pramwand, if I remember correctly. And there is no penny in here to pick up these 2 prize Pokemon, so they are becoming liabilities. But if you're falling behind, you have Defiance Band at least. So yeah, they're also playing the Call for Family Pidgeys, and the 70 HP Charmander definitely helps out a ton. There's Caleb Patton with another Lost Box. Let's see what this Lost Box has to offer. They are playing Ditto. This is something very similar to what I've been rocking with Lost Box is, of course, Drapion, Raikou, Dragonite in combination with the Forest Seal Stone, so you up your chances to find colors of experiment. Some people flip-flop between, like, I'm gonna add in Pokegear sometimes. This is actually using like the Ditto as well to have your fifth great starting Pokemon in the form of Comfey. So definitely interesting, and also with so many switch outs, I think Ditto belongs in a Lost Box deck for sure. Only having 60 HP, and I can of course get Echoing Horn, so that's also something to think about if you are playing that Ditto. But 3 vacuums in here, making sure you can get to 7 ASAP. Then Drew Kennett with Charizard. Let's see what this Charizard has to offer. They are playing one Path to the Peak, which is actually super crazy in the mirror match. Path Iono can help, and they're also playing the Pidgeot V. Instead of Entei to put the Forest Seal Stone on, because as mentioned, the first place winning list with Kyogre list also was piloting that Pidgeot to some great success, so you don't have that 2 prize liability. There's still a Lumineon in here just to get your setup, Lumineon, Arven, and go from there. But if you don't need Lumineon, it's actually great also to close off games, Lumineon Balls, if you are not able to establish a Pidgeot EX. So they're also playing the Vengeful Punch, probably for the Gardevoir EX matchup. But can also help in the mirror match. If a Charizard bumps into you with a Vengeful Punch, you can then knock it out, which is super awesome for sure. So Vengeful Punch, crazy attack card against multiple archetypes in the format, so I think it's a great inclusion. And helping the collapse can also get rid of a Lumineon instead of relying on a Penny in the list. They all have the 60 HP Pidgey, not a fan of the Culfer family. They are going for that Mysterious Tail Mew to go wide and find VIP pass. Okay, another Charizard, so that's crazy. Cole Rosario, if I not pronounce it correctly, another Miraidon build, and this Miraidon build is playing the Zero Aura for the free retreat over Flying Pikachu V. They don't want to have that 2 prize liability. Are playing 4 Pat, 2 Judge, 2 Iono, so heavily on the disruption. And pretty much the same as we've come to know. They are playing that Mew EX. Not only is it great for draw power, definitely with the high amount of Ultra Ball, it can of course copy-paste attacks with its very copy-paste attack. How is it? What's the name again of that Mew EX? Let's just see here. It is Genome Hacking, can copy-paste, can help your Lost Tina matchup tremendously. Jarek Gomila with 14 plays Charizard. It's another Charizard build this time around. Also, again, they are playing Vitality Band. So people are flip-flopping between Defiance Band, Vitality Band, the Vengeful Punch. So just to get that extra damage flowing in. Also, I did like that Defiance Band in the other Charizard list, helping out the Radiant Zard as well. They are playing the Penny to get rid of the 2 prize liability after they've used Lumineon. And they are playing a heavy amount of Lost City. This is the deck that emphasizes most on the Lost City. Definitely great against a lot of archetypes out there. For mentioning, let's say you're up against Kyogre and they start with Kyogre, you can slap it in the Lost Zone and you don't have to worry about it in the slightest, even though you don't have to worry about Kyogre because you have that terrestrial bench barrier built in, and you also have the Manaphy as well. So yeah, pretty straightforward. I think Charizard from here on out will be performing way better because they have the 70 HP Charmanders. 15 plays Jesse Spencer with the Gardevoir EX build. Oh, this is very similar to James Cox's list, if I remember correctly, playing like 12 Psychic Energy, so there's that. 2 for Seal Stone without playing Lumineon, I think is interesting because they are playing 2 Zacian V, so they're focusing more on attacking with the Zacian V than going for any other reversal strategy. So there's that. You have the Spiritomb against Mew VMAX as well as Lugia, and as we all see in this top 16, not a single Lugia, so they went all dropped down to the bottom of the day 2 meta, and very straightforward build, but instead of going for reversal energies, they went for pure Psychic Energies to attack for high damage output with the Zacian ASAP. And then there was Colin Merrily Matthews with the Mew VMAX, and that was again a DTE build. What can we conclude? If you put Spiritomb back in your deck, you are never going to be losing against Mew VMAX because they don't have answers for it. The Fusion build has answers for Spiritomb, the DTE build does not. So if you're scared of Mew VMAX, if your deck is not a fan of seeing the popularity of Mew VMAX anywhere, slide in the Spiritomb once again, and in Sacramento you won't have any issues because they will all be DTE Disruption builds, so with the Grabbers, with the DTE, with the Path. And this is also playing Box of Disaster, helping out against the Gardevoir matchup, or maybe even, I think the Gardevoir matchup is going to be the one you should focus more on. So having answers with Penny and the Palpad against a Lost Box as well. So Mew is not going anywhere, even though Charizard is really popular. So what can we conclude? Top 16, Miraidon did really well, Charizard did really well, and Lost Box. Mew, surprisingly, was still alive, and Gardevoir did okay. What else can we say is that Lugia did not perform or didn't push to that top 16, a couple of them in top 32, but that's about it. Lostina was off the radar, but there were still one in top 32. Arcdura, for some reason, was also in the top 32, even though that deck is terribly positioned right now. There was also, let's see here, any other different builds? Yeah, some Lostinas in top 64, some more Chien-Paos. Nothing noteworthy, to be honest. And also I did see that most of the successful Charizard builds were leaving alone Arceus V-Star and went just for the Brazilian build with Forest Seal Stone and, of course, the Arven build to get your setup going. There was an Alolan Vulpix. There were some Fusion Mews, but they didn't perform all that well. And what else did we see? Just the same. Rapid Strike Urshifu, is that the only one that we see here? Rapid Strike Urshifu and Inteleon didn't perform at all, wasn't on the charts, and also didn't perform all that well. So the big converters are Miraidon, Lost Box, Gardevoir, Charizard, if I had to call. And the big, aka losers from this regionals, was Lostina, a Rapid Strike Urshifu, and Lugia. And Mew did surprisingly better than I anticipated. So yeah, that was the run-through of the Peoria Regionals. Let me know what you thought about the meta run-through. We will do this for next weekend's Regionals as well. So if you enjoyed the video, let me know by rocking the hell out of the like button. Helps out in many ways. And yeah, check out my sponsors, PokeTownStore.com, the best place for TCG live code cards. You can use the coupon code ZapdosTCG for 5% off. There is CardMarket.com for European players. You can buy and sell cards to people all across Europe. Use the referral name ZapdosTCG. Go check out Dragon Shield for the best quality sleeves and deck boxes and more, even playmats. They have literally everything to protect your cards. Links down below, and their playmat.com gets you covered if you want to create your own custom playmat. You can create one today and get 10% off by clicking the link down below. So ideal for the new season to get yourself a fresh, cool looking playmat. Have yourself a fantastic rest of your day. I'll see you guys tomorrow for some more Pokemon TCG madness. Peace.